I don't know about you, but as for me, the question has already been answered. Should we be here? Yes.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Hoosier Sophisticate here on WGNU 920 AM. I don't think our mics are hot yet.
Mike's.
Oh.
Mike.
Hey, mine sounds good. They're just cutting Craig's off and cue that music
Craig, are you
back
good?
up. Nope, I can't hear him. That is
ladies and gentlemen,
phenomenal.
we cannot hear Craig. We
That's
got a new
fine.
board op tonight who's filling in for Integrity.
Danny.
Hi, Danny.
Danny. No, we're good. We don't need Craig. Hey, everybody. Welcome.
Nobody needs me.
Welcome. Oh, God. You got it. And you're off camera. You can't be stopped.
I got all kinds of stuff here. I can't be stopped. This is Hoosier Sophisticate here on WGNU
You're
920
double
AM.
fisted.
He looks like he's being interviewed by like he's at a press conference.
Thank you for joining us on this lovely Friday night, ladies and germs.
This one's working, I think. It's working. I just touched his.
Yo, you
Nope. Get it out of here.
Listen, Steve, a lot
Integrity
of big
not
doings
in the
this week.
building.
What a
Integrity's
week,
not
Steve.
building.
What a week.
What a week, guys. I feel weird, and I've felt weird for a while. You guys know this about me. I'm just an overall weird guy. But the Blues making it to the Stanley Cup Finals, I thought I'd be more emotional, but I realized it really doesn't mean much if we don't win a cup. Okay, so I think it's cup or bust at this point. Even though my dad, I talked to him after almost every game, during the games we text and stuff, and he's like, "We should still have a parade if we don't win." And I'm like, "We can't do that." I'm like,
Come on, Georgie, you're
I'm like,
better
we
than
can
that.
welcome them back at the. Don't talk about my dad.
You're better than that, George.
We can welcome them back at the airport or something. Say it happens in Boston or
Sure.
but that's the only way I'm doing anything like that.
Sure.
Listen, we've waited long enough. I've waited 35 years. My dad just bred me in the Blues fires of just the constant thought of when is the shoe going to drop? Is that the ball going to drop?
shoe going to drop, yeah.
And this year, I feel the team doesn't represent the city in the way that the city has this, oh, God, when's it going to happen? When's it going to happen? This team doesn't give up. And I know everyone's excited about the game, and tickets are $1,500 a piece. And
More than that.
you know,
Jeez.
there's buzz. There's a huge buzz in this town right now. And people have talked about it before where it's the relationship with my dad that's happening, like that has happened and that the Blues has helped cultivate, and these memories that we can share, like Brett Hall says in his video that I've watched 40 times. Do you want to be part of a story that's going to be told for generations to come?
Yeah.
My son, Ollie, 9-year-old, he wants to watch the highlights.
I don't
every
like
morning.
when people talk about me. I want to be forgotten.
I bet. If
Don't worry about me.
If I did the things that you did on a daily basis, I would want to be forgotten from the annals of history as quick as humanly possible. I forget about you.
To piggyback off of what you're saying, Steve, like, do you think the atmosphere in Boston's anything like this? It can't be, because they're just like, I hope we get another championship.
It would be the
on
third
another
one this
sport.
year.
Yeah.
It would be the third one this year.
It would.
Yeah.
They said the buzz in Boston right now is they're mad at the Celtics.
Oh, because they couldn't get the
Yep.
foursome?
Yep. And I've seen on Twitter, and that
It's like
idiot
one of 10
Portnoy is
basketball
from
teams I can name.
He's from Boston, the Boston area, and I hate everything that they stand for. It's just awful. But they say that they, it's either a championship or nothing here. St. Louis is just happy to be there. It's either a championship. That's how we run it. I hate the Patriots with a passion. I will soon hate the Boston Bruins with a passion. Red Sox used to be my favorite team in the American League. I loathe them now. The way they acted after that championship, forget them. I see you, Johnny Damon. Forget that dude, man. I hate him. So Brad Marchand, guys, remember that name. You will hate. He will be the biggest culprit in St. Louis sports history for a long, long time after this final. Mark my words.
You can be a little chippy.
He's the dirtiest player.
Would you love him if he was a Blue?
No, he's an absolute
just
filth
a dirt ball,
machine.
huh?
Yeah, I would murder him if he was a Blue. Allegedly. No, but they match up well. Boston is pretty dang good. Their top line is balls to the wall, pretty amazing. Pasternak, Marchand.
They still have Zdeno Chara.
He's 40. I think he's 40 or 41.
God, he's a monster, though.
Banged up. He's like 7'5" on skates.
On skates, yeah, he's huge.
He's a monster. Maroon fought him this year. Maroon said, forget it, old man. I'm going to knock your teeth out, friend.
Oakville?
Exactly. So I think we're tougher. I think Boston, everything that you'll see, the numbers point to Boston. Boston is the favorite. I think they had an easier route to the Cup. I think the West plays a big boys game of hockey. I think the East skates around each other a lot.
The series again between the Hurricanes and the Bruins, I watched a little bit of that. Those guys went at it.
Hurricanes were blasting off on them.
But see, that's the thing, that series ended a little early, Steve. They've been resting up. They've just been.
I think they have 11 days of rest.
Would you rather be on ice, or would you rather play a hard fought series and have a little bit of mojo coming with you? I always feel like if you play a 6 game, now there's something to be said for how tired you are, but the NHL does a good job of putting some time in between the start of the series. But man, a team on ice for 2 weeks just skating, they're not playing at game tempo.
Here's the deal for Boston. The time off helps. A bunch of guys have played in Stanley Cup games before. I think 4 or 5, maybe 6. They've been there, so they know the week leading up. They know all that stuff. The Blues, it helps us. So I think it works different ways for different teams. The Blues winning the series, having some momentum, getting rested up to a point where you might actually heal some of your injuries in 6-7 days. And I think this series, it plays out. It's the last time we were in the Cup. The Bobby Orr statue outside of their stadium
is him diving after the Blues goal, right?
After the Blues goal, like there's. The Red Sox beating the Cardinals for to end their curse. Like, and I actually read a article today that said the Boston is just the team of destiny. And I'm like, how can you possibly even say that? I mean, I think it was CBS Boston is where I saw the article. I'll read all that stuff too. I soak up all that. But what's awesome is we're going to go to Truman's on Monday. I don't want to get too fired up for the game and say too much. We will break down. I'll break down everything after this. Because I think my words, I'm weird. I think my words have somewhat of an effect on what's going to happen, but not this year. I feel like that's the least I've ever had an effect on. I've stayed with this team. Jenny, I told my dad, I go, in February, we were playing every other day. And I go, get these boys in a rhythm. If they can blast off some wins. It started a little bit earlier in January. They kept that rhythm up. And kudos, I want to say Jake Allen. Kudos to him for being a cheerleader and being a guy who's out on the ice after the games. You've never even heard a word about him in the media saying, I'm going to get my job back or whatever.
He had to know, right?
Yes.
He was getting beat.
Yes, and the team gelled. And guys, just soak it in. That's all I'm saying to everybody. Soak this beautiful, beautiful bliss in, man, because it's a wild ride right now, but the job is not done. And Craig and I have a little surprise for you. Truman's Monday. What are we going to do for him?
Oh, Monday night. So if it without fail, the St. Louis market, this isn't exclusive to the hockey fan base, but watch a national televised Cardinal game, and the NLCS and Joe Buck's calling like, this guy's from St. Louis and he's given all this bias towards whatever team, because we were there several years in a row, and it was every year without fail. They were like, never gives St. Louis any love. He loves the other team. But as a nice little thought experiment, go on Twitter the next time you think that an announcer is being biased towards the other team's fan base. If you looked at San Jose Sharks feeds on Twitter, fans feed, they were like, oh, Pierre Maguire, he can't help but just oil the Blues up and rub their back through this whole series. Like, everybody can only hear the bad things that are being said about their city, about their market. St. Louis has that really bad.
Pierre Maguire did say he would rub Joe Thornton down with Momed Kanko massage oil with CBD, 1,000 milligrams. So he did do that.
If you go to momedkanko.com and enter HOSO at checkout, you get 15% off. But so Steve and I were like, you know what? There's really only one way to combat this. Let's call the game.
Yep.
We're going to call the game as it's playing. you're not going to be able to watch it. So here's the deal. I actually think that we will sync up better with the game than if someone was trying to listen to Curbs or the radio guys, and the game, because there's that huge radio delay in between the action. But I think with the stream going, and you're my play-by-play guy. Yep. I couldn't tell you what half these guys' numbers are.
Name 3 guys on the Bruins besides Chara.
Besides Chara and Marchand?
Yeah.
This is gonna be so fun. Dude.
David Backus.
Okay. Goalie.
I don't know that clown's name.
Tuukka Rask.
Yeah, they got some crazy name. I've been doing anagrams all week.
Why?
I don't know, because it's fun. Because it's fun.
Okay.
Did I tell you what David Perron's was?
Raven Diprod.
Raven Diprod.
You know what that is?
Yeah.
Sam Lyons. You just put out the Sam Lyons bad signal.
Yeah,
is he going to show up?
It's the PC way of seeing
did.
BBC.
He
Yeah.
did.
So anyway, I think if we call it, we're gonna have a good time. We're uncensored. I'll be the color guy.
You can't do 3.
Oh,
Yeah,
we're not
no, 3.
moving on. We're not moving on.
We're moving on.
No.
This will be good. This will be really good for the broadcast.
Ray Bork.
Cam Neely, Seabass.
Yeah.
Seabass.
Yes,
Seabass with
yes.
the Boston Bruins.
Yes. No, I can't name them. I'll be honest with you. I'm not sure I can name half our team. I don't know what numbers these guys are. So that's just gonna be great. I'm gonna be the color guy, just the drunken color guy, just adding in, talking about guys mucking it up.
Well, you got an eye for it because you'll text me with stuff and say, Shen's looking good. He's going to get one. With your little bit of
it's just sports knowledge. It's just athletics knowledge.
Thank you. You have a little bit of hockey knowledge, but you can branch it out to your other sports. You know when a guy's playing. You know when a guy's a gamer.
Oh, Shen's my guy.
He's been the guy, man. And if he gets some goals, they start going in for him. I know he got a nice one in the last game, but, baby, he's had some chances. Here's the key to the game, though. I heard a stat that Boston gets to high-scoring areas around the slot, around the goal, more than any other team does and keeps other teams out there.
Bust them up.
If we own that part of the ice, so watch for that. Watch Bouwmeester, watch Gunnarsson, watch Parayko, watch Pietrangelo. Watch them, bite my tongue, watch them clear that area out. Watch for them to keep that area clear because that's been a
I
detriment.
want to see more of this Thomas kid.
Oh, baby. Thomas is going to get healed up, and
he's skating around, guys.
He's going to have himself a series.
Thomas.
Oh, he's going to have himself
Big
a series.
Thomas. Are you
like a series?
you willing to give a prediction?
Nope.
I'll give you mine.
Oh, okay. Here,
I'll give you mine.
I'll give you the prediction. Either Bruins real quick or Blues in a lengthier series.
Oh, okay. I'm going the other way. So Steve is, and I get this. I respect this because I very much felt the same way. Like when the Cardinals need a little rally, I'm putting my hat on backwards. I'm that guy. It's fun. It's how you become a part of the action as a fan. But, Steve's superstitions don't allow him to say things or maybe post things on our page.
Nope.
I don't have any such superstitions. So anytime you see anything that might be a prediction or somebody talking, running junk, that's me. It's not Steve.
Thank you.
Putting that out in the cosmos. Blues in 5. Blues in 5.
Wow, I like that.
It's going to be quick.
5.
Hey,
I'd like to see it in 4 because I think there's a bit of poetry to the 2004 because the 2004 Cardinals were the greatest baseball team to ever play in my lifetime. They were even considering the 2 World Series teams.
I know
that 2004 team was as good as any team.
Stacked.
Honestly, one of the best teams of the aughts. Or of the 2000s. I mean, in the last 20
You're willing
years,
to say that?
Yeah.
Are you willing to go out there and say that?
No doubt. And then what happens? Boston comes around and they come back on the Yankees and they sweep us in 4. And you could see it. It was a freight train coming down the tracks.
We had a nice little rest, didn't we?
We did. Yeah.
Did we?
No, because we ended up sweeping, or not sweeping, but we ended up beating New York in the.
Was that the Andy Chavez?
Was that 2005?
Listen, we don't need to get
Doesn't
into that,
matter.
That's the worst.
Point is, Boston came in. They really were an outmatched team. The Cardinals were a better team on paper. Paper don't win championships.
Nope. So we're gonna win it in Boston's ice.
I'd love
Game
to do
5.
that. I'd like to do it at home, but
Boston won it here.
I want to win it on ice.
Jimmy Fallon and wasn't that right? Jimmy.
that was the
Fallon
first
and Drew
year
Barrymore were making out.
that they awarded home field advantage to the All-Star team, and the Cardinals won like 105 games that year. I mean, it wasn't anybody.
Well, you want to do it with an exhibition game that sometimes ends in a draw.
Anyway, go Blues. Come out to Truman's. If you haven't yet seen the most brilliant thing that Steve's put together, you'll hear it a couple times during the commercial break. We did a little Truman's commercial. They're our newest sponsor.
You pulled it?
And
I'm kidding.
we're going to have a good old time down there. It's Memorial Day. It's kind of a Hoosier holiday.
Went
if you
7
will.
against the Stros. We got on the.
There you go.
Okay.
Man,
So we didn't-
that was a great little rivalry. The Cardinals Astros
Was that Brad Lidge year?
it was. No, 2005 was because they ended up going and then losing to the White Sox in the World Series.
Stros.
Oh
All right, so
man,
that's that.
we got some comments on the old comment line.
Let's go to the
here.
comment line.
Let's go to Squeege. He's gonna read some comments off the comment line. Squeege, you out there? It's Squeege. Jesse Hickman says he can't wait for Monday because we're gonna be at Truman's. Kenny Zim Zim says once again he'll be at work, but he'll be listening to the game. Then he said, "Nice plug." I hope I didn't stand up and it popped out for a minute. If the Blues win the Cup, Tower Classic Tattoos is going to be busy because I'm going to need a new tat. My dad told me to call my tattoo guy, told him to get him ready.
That's awesome.
We will get matching
Totally.
tattoos at Tower Classic Tattoo.
Totally. Right on.
100 million.
Let me ask you this. All right. Right now, you got some statues out front. You talked about Bobby Orr's statue out front of Boston. When the Blues win the Cup this year, who's the guy on this team that's going to get the big statue? Is it going to be Tarasenko?
Nobody. This is a 100% team effort.
I agree.
Our team.
I
is going to
agree.
win
But
this.
is there when you look at this generation of players, who's the next guy that's going to get a statue? I'm not saying as a result of this season. They might do a whole little team statue like the V-Day statue raising the flag.
Petrangelo is probably the closest if he plays another 5 years
Really?
for us.
Just because he's a lifer?
Tarasenko.
I mean, Tarasenko's been around for a minute. He's got, what is he, 31, 30?
24.
No, he's got to be older than that. I think he's 30. He might be younger than that. Might be like 27.
Okay. No, is he that young?
I couldn't tell you. He signed a 6-year deal not too long ago. But Tarasenko's obviously, people love goal scorers. 28.
Yeah.
So he's got another 6 years of scoring 30 goals a pop. I mean, they don't score goals like they used to.
I know. So who's out front right now? You got Federico, you got Hull.
Federico, Hall, and McInnes. And
McInnes is out there. Okay.
Parayko, if he keeps up at the rate he's going, he will be a St. Louis favorite for years and years.
Just
and
rip
years
the
to come.
puck, kid.
And Schenner is a total St. Louis type of guy.
He's my favorite
punch
player on the
someone
team.
in the mouth. If we could have had Ryan O'Reilly his whole career, he's a go-getter type too.
I know.
Like,
I'm wondering who's the lifer. Who's the lifer that gets a statue?
Listen, who will get the MVP of this playoffs will be Schwartzy.
I mean, 2 hat tricks is hard to argue with. More goals in the playoffs than he had in the.
Binnington has made very timely saves. Rask's numbers are way better, but he has made some of the
the Bruins goalie.
Yes. When Couture came down on that breakaway, I think it was 2-1 at that time, or maybe 3-1. It's a game changer. That's a game changer, and he just stands there as calm as can be, and it radiates to the team. Did you see the post-game interviews? Or no, the in-between day interviews where Binnington has played with some of the Boston players.
Yeah, he played in their farm
Providence.
club, right? Yeah.
So they go, hey, one of the reporters goes, hey, man, they probably know a little bit about you. They said that gives them a slight advantage.
Was that as a result of whenever we lost our farm club? Like we
I
had some
believe
guys.
so. I don't know.
Okay.
Because he might have been in a different
I think we drafted him, right?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
Billy Husso was above him, and Billy Husso got hurt, and that's where Bennington came in. But they did. They said, "Oh, it gives him an advantage," and he goes, "He's at the podium," and he's like, "Oh, I guess
that's nice."
Yeah. And I was like, Maroon loses his stuff. Maroon and Petrangelo laugh every time almost.
Dude, I love it. I love that.
He's maybe my favorite
He's
player.
got ice water in his veins, man, and that's what you need in a goalie.
And you know what else they need in their veins?
What's that?
Little CBD. You know our boy Chris Long.
Yeah.
Says he did marijuana juice all throughout the entire.
So he was shooting up the leaves of the marijuana plant.
Yeah, he did marijuana juice the entire. No, he juiced it. He made healthy juice out of it.
Last but not least, my favorite, Karen Apple. That guy with the eyebrows. Remember that guy used to schlep the juicers.
Oh God!
And he had the crazy eyebrows. Looked like a couple caterpillars crawling on his head.
I remember that guy, but I remember Jack LaLanne. Remember
Oh.
that buff old dude?
Dude, Jack LaLanne swam across the English Channel towing like 80 boats.
He shot
on his
ropes.
80th birthday. He's still shooting ropes. Is he alive?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, okay.
Even if he's dead,
Yeah.
pump
He's
one
immortal.
out.
I am
pump one out.
immortal. I don't
that?
know what we're doing this.
But no, Chris Long. Have you guys seen it in the news?
I have.
That guy is the ultimate St. Louis Ram. I love it. He did the Let's Go Blues thing, and he said he did marijuana throughout his entire NFL career. Craig, how's that possible with testing?
Martellus
I
Bennett
don't
said that
get
he
it.
thought that 89%.
Was that a weird number to pick?
I thought so. Like, what was 90? We're not going to give him 90.
He's like, no,
But
89 of my buddies.
Guys, we know cannabis to be. Remember when you were in grade school and they would say cannabis kills your brain cells. Well,
one joint equals 5 cigarettes. Remember that blatant, made up, stupid statistic that had nothing to do with any.
It turns out that cannabis is a neuroprotectant, and for a league that has a serious CTE problem, it's probably not a bad idea to load up your gladiators with a little bit of neuroprotectant.
Yeah,
so thank you, Chris Long, for once again being the voice of reason. I'll tell you why I love Chris Long.
His body.
He was always a great steward of the community while he was here in St. Louis.
Yeah, he was.
But when all of that rigmarole went down with old Walmart guy,
oh yeah,
he was the one that was like, "This is BS." He called it out on the surface.
Really?
Oh yeah, totally.
Wow.
So not many guys were willing to get out in front and say, "No, call it for what it was." The league probably had a gag order on the whole deal.
Ooh, that sounds
Yeah.
hot.
I know. It just jumped. I know. But Chris Long was willing to get out in front and stand up for St. Louis and say, this is nonsense. The fans were great in St. Louis.
They're like sitting there, don't smoke this marijuana. That's bad for you. Now get out there and smack your head against another grown man's head, running as fast as you can.
The
and
pinnacle
then
of
piss yourself every time you're near a microwave for the rest of your life. And we'll just be like, I don't know. Maybe it has something to do with the fact you wear a helmet to work every day.
The pinnacle
They're
of comedy.
shooting themselves in the head so they can, or they're shooting themselves in the heart.
Yeah, so they can
have their head examined afterwards.
The pinnacle of comedy is a bunch of
I didn't know
middle-aged.
I think Junior Seau did.
Chilling.
He did, yeah, a bunch of guys. There's been several.
Did they like
several guys?
They
that,
said
yes,
that's why
study
they did
my
that.
brain.
That's bone chilling.
Study my brain.
That is bone
They
chilling.
didn't want to ruin it.
To know what's wrong and have
Yeah.
no control over your actions still,
Dude.
and go through with that.
It's terrifying. And the
It's like
most
martyr in a way.
hilarious thing in the world is for not just anybody, not medical professionals or anything, but like these old suits like Robert Kraft, whatever comprises of the league. Those guys telling NFL players what's good and what isn't good for their body. They are the peak athletes on this planet. They run faster than anybody. They're stronger than anybody. Why don't you tell me what I can do to make my body perform a little bit better, sir? I run as fast as a freight train and I hit even harder. Please lecture me on my health decisions.
Coach Craig's coming out right now. Coach
Give me
Craig
a
will
break.
fire
Listen,
the
You
team
look
up.
like a coach right
Yeah,
now.
he does. He got the
You look
mic
like an
shorts
NFL
on.
coach that's challenging a play.
My grandma
No,
ran a
he looks like
4.240.
he just lost a challenge. Look at him.
Any professional athlete in this world is a paid gladiator. You're going to tell me I'm supposed to care about what they put in their body? Guess
Nope.
what? Baseball was better when everybody was on
Yes,
roids.
it was.
better.
The
Yes.
exit velo
Just
was
like
off
music.
the
Exit
Everybody-
velo. Roger Clemens was 49 years old, throwing 116 miles an hour. Let's pump him up. We got a bunch of Banes out
Did
there.
you see
Let's
Mark
give him the
McGuire?
juice.
Did anyone look at him?
Mark McGuire
Just take a look at
couldn't
him.
fit through the doorway. Hey, Mark, how you feeling? Back's a little shot, but I'm going to hit a ball to Mexico today. Get out of here. People telling me, get out of here. Like I have no problem. You know where I'm at on prohibition in general, but when we're talking about paid athletes, let's just these guys are getting paid an obscene amount of money
I got
to
three.
entertain us. Let's make them the peak athletes we can.
What do you got?
I got 3 quotes for you.
Okay.
All right. So he's talking about the marijuana use, Chris Long. He goes, in that month or two that you stop, you're going to reach for sleeping pills. You're going to reach for the painkillers, and you're going to reach for a bottle of a little bit more, Long said. If you're serious about players not using, talking about the NFL, you'd be testing more often. I hope they go the opposite direction and kind of realize how arbitrary that one test is. And then it goes on to say, because players can beat the test so easily, Long wondered why the NFL even bothers. We should be headed to a place where we allow players to use what I wouldn't even call drugs. It's far less dangerous than players guzzling a fifth of alcohol and going out after the game. You're never going to read about a guy sitting on the couch and binge watching Game of Thrones. Marijuana use is far less harmful than alcohol. It is far less harmful than tobacco. And at various points in the league's history, they have engaged in partnerships on different levels in those respective industries. Chris Long bringing the truth and presenting, just flopping it on the table for people and just saying, hey, here it is. Yeah. You want to take a look?
Yeah.
And they're like, I'm uncomfortable.
I can't look away. That thing's like a lightning rod.
Yeah, exactly. and I'm attracted to it.
So
that-
Craig,
yeah.
you wanna
No, I think Chris Long is a voice
I agree.
of true reason. And it's awesome that he's from St. Louis. It's awesome. Hopefully he can get on board with the movement we got going right now. You know, if I was a cannabis company, I'd be like, boom, hey, Chris Long, you want to be our spokes guy? I mean, David Wells has been doing it for a while, the old pitcher. The crazy blonde-haired guy, Kyle Turley, who's got his own band.
He's one of the first
been
guys.
on it forever, man.
Yep.
And it's ridiculous that these players, they're multi-millionaires. They obviously know how to beat a drug test. Okay. Like it's just Josh Gordon. That guy got booted from the league forever.
One of the most talented wide receivers in there. Now, multiple offender, but also they found a lot more than pot in the system. But again, I'm going to go back to, hey, he's still performing at a higher level than all of his peers.
Man.
Let's be serious here.
God.
Let's be serious. And who would know that they were using these substances if the league didn't make this big deal about it? Can't handle things in house? Give me a break.
That's interesting that the
Yeah, it's
players
ridiculous.
union
I'm
lets it
surprised.
out.
I'm surprised that the owners who have substantial investments. Now, the difference is, like, if this was baseball, and guess what? Baseball was not only complicit in steroid use throughout the late 90s and early aughts, but it was also providing it for all of the players. So
La Russa didn't know.
Just only his players were the guys that were on it to begin with. Yeah, we're going to put all those guys in the Hall of Fame first, and then we're going to act like the greatest baseball players to ever play don't deserve to be in the Hall of Fame. Give me a break. It's ridiculous. In baseball, money's guaranteed. In baseball, money's guaranteed. In football, it's not. If they see an out in a contract,
in life, nothing's guaranteed.
Except for baseball contracts. Yeah, no doubt. So, I mean, I feel like if the money was guaranteed, you think all of this stuff would be coming out? Yeah, right. Yeah, right. These owners would be like, I've got $38 million tied up in that steed right there. That's literally my cattle. You understand? That is my show pony. I don't care what's in his
chattel.
Yeah. Why?
I don't know. That's like a rich guy thing to do. I just heard the word chattel. Yeah. Look it up. You ever heard the word chattel?
Steve, we're up against it.
I don't quite know what it means, so I apologize if I have to make
let's do this. Let's jump to break. I had some fun segueing into cannabis there. On the other side of the break, let's have a little bit of cannabis news. Talk about big marijuana, the possibility of that being created right now. This is Hoosier Sophisticate. We love that you've decided to join us on this lovely Friday night. Thank you for joining along right here on WGNU 920 AM. We'll see you on the other side of the break.
Roof? You know what that sound is. That's Rufus the Roofing Dog from Lifetime Roofing and Renovation. They're former insurance adjusters. They will fly a drone over your house to check to see if you've had any hail damage. Heck, they'll get up there and tell you themselves. They have an office in Webster Groves, and they're looking to help you out. Lifetime Roofing and Renovation, 314-800-0426. Give them a call. Find them online at lifetimestl.com.
Hey girl, where you wanna go?
I don't care, I just love you.
Are you hungry? Do you wanna get something to eat?
I don't care, I'm kinda hungry.
Well, what sounds good?
Anything sounds good, you pick.
How about some Mexican?
No, I had that for lunch yesterday.
How about we get some Italian food?
Ew.
Okay, now you're not saying anything. You're just giving me a
want
look.
something delicious.
What does that even mean?
I want to sit outside.
Applebee's?
Applebee's
No,
is
Applebee's.
gross. I'm not
Applebee's is
eating
good. I don't
Applebee's.
know why you're
Applebee's
always
fries
hating on
are
Applebee's.
disgusting.
Applebee's is one of
They're
my favorite car
gross.
places to go ever.
I'm not eating Applebee's.
I wanna go to Truman. Let's go to Truman. Sula, go to Truman. I wanna go to Truman. Sula, take me to Truman. We agree on Truman. I love Truman. Sula, I love Truman. Sula, Truman. Truman's and Soulard, a place we can all agree upon.
Spiders are found on nearly every continent on the earth. Bugs and arachnids, and insects and other little critters are vital to the Earth's homeostasis, keeping our planet in balance and making all of our lives better. They are vital, beautiful little creatures. Unless you come in my house, and then I'm calling Rose Extermination.
Rose extermination.
Listen, insurance is not something you want to gamble on.
Now, what my associate's trying to say is that James Carlton State Farm is really cool. You're not even going to believe it. Like, let's say you're driving along on the road with your family, and you're driving along, patch of ice, can't quite stop, boom, you bump into the guy next to you. James Carlton's got somebody out there ready to take care of you 24/7. You call them at 314-961-4800. Now, here's what happens with the other guy's insurance. You're driving along, kids are in the backseat. Daddy, I got to go to the bathroom. Not now, damn it. Ice. You can't stop. Here comes the adjuster. Adjuster gets out. He says, oh, my God. New guy's in the corner puking his guts out. All because you want to save a couple extra pennies. To me, it just doesn't make much sense.
Guys, check out carltoninsurance.net, 314-961-4800. If your insurance is costing you a leg and an arm, call James Carlton, State Farm.
Sherman Gillums Jr., Paralyzed Veterans of America.
For more than 70 years, Paralyzed Veterans of America has helped hundreds of thousands of veterans get all the benefits they have earned.
Al Kovac Jr., Paralyzed Veterans of America.
We provide one-on-one support tailored to your individual needs, including healthcare advocacy, benefit support, and career assistance.
For more information, call 1-800-424-8200 or visit pva.org. A public service of Paralyzed Veterans of America.
Hey there, Krager.
Well, hey, Steve.
How you doing, buddy?
Man, I've been pretty good.
Well, that's good. Hey, you heard anything about them newfangled hemp oils they got now?
I just don't know where to find a good one.
Well, I found the best full-spectrum hemp oil from MomedCanco.com.
Where?
I get it from MomedCanco.com.
Is it expensive?
It don't cost 2 kittens whiskers. And if you enter HOSO in the promo box, you're going to get yourself 15% off.
Buddy, it sounds like we're squatting tall cotton.
Darn right we are.
Where can I find them?
You can find them online, MomedCanco.com, Missouri Medical Cannabis Company.
Thanks, buddy. Yeah.
Hi, I found a toy dinosaur over on the playground by Smith Street. It had this phone number on it, and, well, I just wanted to make sure the dinosaur made it back to its little owner.
Yeah, hi. I think I found your kid's stuffed animal near the swing set. Just want to call. I'm sure she misses it.
I know my son gets super attached to the smallest things, even a fire truck, and I'd be happy to drop it off. The toy was a little muddy, so I cleaned it up, and it's good to go whenever you're around.
When I found the little sippy cup, I just had to give you a call. It's for a kid, you know?
We'd do anything for kids. Yet 1 in 6 children in the U.S. struggle with hunger. Help end childhood hunger and give all of our kids the meals they need to grow. Learn how at feedingamerica.org. Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
Push away the paperwork and catch up on your sports every day at noon with the Brian Stoll Show.
The commissioner of the XFL, Oliver Luck, with us here.
I think we can do better than that in St. Louis, quite honestly, given the passion that exists there and the demand that I think will exist there, and the fact that I feel really strongly and very confident that we can put a really good product in the field that folks will say, "Wow, this is fun."
That's the Brian Stoll Show. Weekdays at noon on WGNU 920 AM.
Sports and entertainment. business and politics, health and wellness, all on WGNU, the talk of St. Louis.
The turned-on people who seem to set many of today's lifestyles are not the only ones smoking grass, popping bennies, shooting speed, or dropping acid. If they were, the problem would be somewhat less tragic.
It's that Hoosier Sophisticate radio, baby. Presented by Mycelio Media. Streaming live on WGNU920am.com and Mycelio Media on YouTube. Check it out.
In this kind of dosage, it causes a fantastic speeding up of the mind function, so that the person suddenly feels a rush of tremendous numbers of ideas flashing through his mind, and as a matter of fact, with hallucinogenic type overtones. There tends to be a distortion of time, and of course the person is confused. Person is confused. Person is confused. Person is confused.
We're getting weird with Steve and Craig. This is Hoosier Sophisticate on WGNU.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Hoosier Sophisticate here on WGNU 920 AM. Seth's been in the lab.
Seth said my commercials are long. He's an idiot.
Well, it was one way to tie up a 7-minute commercial break. It's with the 2-minute intro. We got all kinds of stuff going on. I wanted to acknowledge something. Seth was in the lab, and I was in the lab this morning, and the mad scientist whipped a little something up for you today, Steve. Just a little gift just for you.
What?
It's on your head right now.
Oh, thank you. This is my surprise?
Was the mad? Yeah, totally. I totally gave you a surprise already. Yeah.
Oh,
that's your surprise.
Oh man, this thing's awesome. I'm great. It's great. Thank you.
I'm taking it back.
Thank you.
I'm
Do you guys see
taking it back.
I've been pimping it a little
I'm
bit
taking
on
it
the
back.
show.
I'm taking it back, Steve. You're not going to disrespect me or my workforce like that ever again.
Okay.
Let's get on some cannabis news, shall we?
I would love to, because that's what we do here. It's what we're passionate about. It's everything. We're living our dreams, and you guys are helping us live our dreams. Are they not?
They are.
Like, I can't thank you guys enough for helping us do what we do. Like, I sound like an idiot, don't I? Like,
Always.
telling them how great they are.
Every day.
Guys, we talk about the gut. We talk about the brain. We've talked about it before. We've talked about both of them. We talked about them separately. We've talked about them together. They, have an effect on one another. Here is how the endocannabinoid system connects your gut and your brain. I wish it was gut and butt. That would have been some nice. It connects your gut and your butt.
I think those are already pretty well connected just physiologically.
Okay, so we got the brain and the gut speak the same language. Ethan Russo, medical doctor. It's true. Your gut has a brain. The second brain won't help you do a crossword puzzle or remember a password, but its connection to the brain in your head plays a major role in regulating digestion, mood, and your overall health. The gut-brain connection. The body's endocannabinoid system is a network of receptors and enzymes involved in pain sensation, appetite, memory, and mood. Many researchers believe that the ECS, the endocannabinoid system, is the communication link between the gut and the brain that enables them to speak to each other. The ECS interacts with the body's central nervous system, the CNS, and the enteric nervous system. The CNS and the ENS. Thank you. The CNS is the brain and the spinal cord. The ENS extends from the esophagus to the rectum. Butthole. Am I right, guys?
You didn't know that?
The NS is called, no, it just has that in the print. The NS is called the second brain because it uses the same receptors, neurons, and neurotransmitters that the CNS does. So the two brains speak the same language. Guys, within the ECS is an internal system of cannabinoid receptors, CB1 and CB2, and we've even found out that there could be a CB3. These receptors interact with cannabinoids, which are found in hemp, as well as other plants such as black pepper, cloves, hops, ginseng, black truffles, and dark chocolate. What's more, your body actually makes cannabinoids called endocannabinoids, and then they act on these receptors. Guys, it's modulating inflammation, it's regulating digestion, it's regulating communication with your brain. Guys, what How awesome is this news? How cool is this?
CB1, CB2, and possibly CB3.
Was it Wash U?
What about a CB4?
Oh, that was a great movie.
That was good. Chris Rock. It was like a.
It was not a good movie.
NWA.
Yeah, I remember it was supposed to be like too dirty for me. I remember my parents being like,
so have you seen it?
It was probably veiled racism. Now that I think about it, movie probably wasn't that bad. They were just like, this kid can't handle it because that was already hard.
Yeah, you were from the
straight
streets.
hard, dude.
Yeah.
Everybody's from a street.
I was a 5th member of Bone. I was from the State Street. You clown shoe.
Damn, though.
What do you guys think?
I think that it makes the argument a lot easier with prohibitionists to say, no. You see, this is actually what we're made of. We are made of all of these compounds. We are what the plant's made of. We are made of.
Yep.
Everything is the homeostasis. We talk about just the things that depend on each other for a vibrant life. And we're trying to put these roadblocks up. And there's all kinds of contributing factors, with overpopulation and with diet and how things have changed, and feeding the masses comes more processed foods, and so
you're against that. You're staunchly against.
Oh yeah, let's cull. I mean, I'd like to see a mass culling.
Yeah.
Just
you've gone on record saying that.
Yeah, I mean, let's get rid of 60-70% and just really thrive. Georgia Guidestones for life. But we have people that are putting up literal roadblocks to something that's always kind of been a vital part of our health. Our cattle used to eat feral hemp, right? Like CBD was something we got naturally through our food, whether it was the milk or, the beef that we ate or whatever.
Where's the beef?
Where the beef is?
Where's the beef? It's filled with CBD.
Give me some of that CBD beef. Now we're actually adding it to our food.
I know.
It's which is great. Do that.
Shout out to Fried. We went and had a lunch at Fried. That was pretty
cool.
Good. CBD infused
cool.
food. Go check them out.
Yeah, not too bad. Down on Washington 14. Yeah, pretty good stuff. Pretty good stuff. Anytime stuff like this comes out, just recently, the other day, we found ourselves in another, debate, quote unquote, an internet debate where people were talking about the dangers. I think it was actually the Chris Long post was,
my boy Timmy Recaps.
And I think Alvin Mack was the one that tagged us in it, which we love, by the way.
Thank you, Alvin Mack.
Yeah, we love that, by the way. You
tag us in
guys got a question about cannabis. Like, I think we're trying to put ourselves in a position where we can speak on it half intelligently. And there's still this idea. It's very hard to break down what we've been taught, the indoctrination of our youth. We were taught forever that, this is your brain and this is your brain on drugs. And there's that stuff.
It was clearly just a guy cooking an egg. I didn't fall for that.
Totally.
But
no, that was
they
your
put
brain.
no production into that.
It was a girl. It was that real cute little girl from
Johnny
She's
Depp
All
did it
That.
once too, which I think is hilarious that Johnny Depp partook in that, because he's kind of like an idol when it comes to consciousness experimentation. Like that guy, he never came back. That guy's just Captain Jack Sparrow now. That's just what he is.
Jenny thinks he stinks.
You think so?
No.
Just Jenny.
Just Jenny thinks he stinks. No, Jenny doesn't stink. Why are you saying mean things?
Seth, you found something kind of interesting today. And it was the prospect of us creating a big marijuana.
A big marijuana.
It was a TED Talk, right?
A gigantic marijuana.
The hugest of marijuana.
I mean, and it kind of reminded me of this couple in Seattle that I watched on some documentaries a long time ago, like when it first started becoming a thing. And they weren't too excited. This like super hippie couple that was selling, growing their own marijuana and selling it. They're like, oh, somebody's just going to come in and some big corporation just going to take it over, regulate it, and it'll be theirs. So it was so funny because it was so happy. They had the music playing and they had, showing them growing it and everything, and they were selling it to people. And then they're like, no, I mean, we're not that excited. Somebody's going to come take over this.
They kind of saw the writing on the wall.
Yeah. And that kind of goes along with this little video clip. Do you want to hear this?
Yeah, let's play it a little bit. I want to hear what this gal has to say.
No, I'm good.
She's kind
Two
of
against
cute.
one.
Robust regulation has also given us barriers to entry. So much so that at this point, only a certain type of entrepreneur with a certain amount of money is really participating on a really easy level. Some examples of those barriers to entry are traceability requirements, product tracking requirements, packaging and labeling requirements, land use buffer, landlord requirements. We have financial requirements and criminal background checks. If anybody in here is a convicted felon, don't even waste your time applying to own or operate one of these businesses in most of these states, because you will never be eligible to do so. Now, what does this mean? And how does this culminate in the industry? What it means is that right now, only the strong are surviving. And who are the strong? Really two groups. Those who are well capitalized and those with deep and vast political connections in order to exert influence. And that begs the question, because now on both the state and the federal and even the local level, we have pot packs, and God forbid we actually have pot lobbyists. Yes, that is a job now. So again, it begs the question, is state legal marijuana as a result of robust regulation creating big marijuana? And I posit to you that the answer is yes. So who is big marijuana, right? Who do you run from? Who do you criticize? Where do you invest your money? What is a safe bet in this extremely volatile industry? In my opinion, it's really four main groups, all of which in some way are trying to control and dominate the industry by making it more commercial and industrial than ever. These are no longer people growing weed in their backyard or in their mom's basement. The four groups are states with monopolies that promote anti-competitive behavior, most of the businesses in the recreational cannabis states, ancillary businesses that support the industry but don't touch the product or the plant, and finally, my personal favorite, celebrity pot and brands and endorsements.
What do you think about that, Steve-O?
I have an interesting question. For
Your
you.
name's Steve? Shut up.
Craig.
Sorry, Seth. I'm not.
Go ahead, Steve.
I mean, we're the ultimate deciders. We get to pick. They're right though. That barrier of entry is there. I think it's dog crap. I think it's complete and utter dog crap. 2, I know Missouri's a little different. You can have a felony.
There has to be a certain amount of time that has passed.
Every weed charge ever should be expunged. Should be done. Every bit of that should be done.
Yeah.
And the weed could have led to other things. Oh man, my roommate in college, my buddy's roommate, got caught with weed and mushrooms. He got caught with weed. His buddy got caught with mushrooms. The mushrooms were like, oh my God, this kid had mushrooms. That's a felony. And he's gonna get kicked out of Mizzou. And oh my God, like it became this huge thing. To think about it, like it's decriminalized in Denver now.
Yeah.
We're finding out that it helps. Like, oh, this kid took a little bit and did better on his test scores. Get that away from him.
Yeah.
Get that
He
away
thinks
from
for himself
Yeah,
now?
no, God, better. He's realizing that college is a big money grab scam, that their endowments are bigger than Craig's ego. But, you know, it's crazy, man. I hate big anything. Like, I'm the guy who's like, I hate big pharma, I hate big tobacco, I hate them all. But I'm a participant. I'm in there I support. I drink Coca-Cola, you know what I mean? Like,
You're literally drinking a wild cherry
Usually-
Pepsi right now.
I usually do though.
You but you pointed to it and
Shut
said
up.
Coca-Cola.
Well, it's a bigger conglomerate, and I just wanted to make a point.
I don't know.
Pepsi's right there. Pepsi's right there.
So this ties in because I feel like Seth, did you want to ask me your question real quick?
You need them, right?
Well, I was just gonna say, as a libertarian, Craig,
yes,
you like anything privatized.
Yes,
so we keep it privatized. But like, how do you prevent a big guy from coming and crushing?
This ties in perfectly.
Because
there
will still be the mom and pop weed shops.
So,
right?
so the main point I think she's making there is, what does regulation get us? Well, it gets us a better knowledge of our product. Probably, there's obviously more control of it, keeping it out of youth's hands or anything like that. But it's also going to drive the price up. Yeah. Well, this can be painted on anything, and I think it's something that people that are small government minded can use, because cannabis is the great connector. Cannabis is the great connector between all of us, right? People on the right, people on the left, users on both sides, people that want small government, people that want bigger government, they want bigger government programs. We find out, and it's happening in California right now, the more and more regulations that the government is putting on the industry, the more it squeezes out little people. And that's when these conglomerates come in and start buying things up. So I think Steve's ultimate goal, he's made it abundantly clear on here several times. And I wish I'm totally there too. It's just never going to happen. It's just outright decriminalization. It's just legal. You can grow as much as you want. It's an open marketplace. That's never, ever, 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 ever going to happen. It's not going to happen. However,
I love when you say that.
If that market happened, or if that market were to take place, Jim down the street, you have a personal relationship with him. Now, granted, there wouldn't be as much profit in the growers, and the market then starts favoring the people who are just better, who are just growing a better product, offering a better product. Now, there's something to be said for people that already have huge amounts of money, can be better at the game out the gate. But if there's not all of these regulations, there's a lot more people that can be pulled out of the bottom into they can start carving their own niche. They can start creating their own fan bases and make our customer bases and making it a more personal experience. Oh, hey, I like that strain that he grows and he does it so well and it makes me feel good. Not as much regulation, probably not as much knowledge about the plants, not really be able to, and people would definitely game it. There would be people who would say, hey, I'm growing this, and they're not growing that. So believe me, the regulation is nice, but I want to see as little regulation as possible. And I think that is what ultimately levels. I think that, as necessary. Not as possible, but
the there are necessary regulations.
Things that can assure us, what we're growing, that we're not smoking chemicals.
Can that
or
be a private
chemicals.
deal? That
Totally.
does that?
Yeah, there could absolutely be. I mean,
why not?
those companies already exist.
Yeah.
They
do.
But then they're bidding on contracts through the state. We saw that recently. The tracking system that the state of Missouri settled on at first, like there was a huge backlash on that. I'm not sure where that stands right now because I think it was kind of in the air. But there are people that were in markets that already exist to say, man, we've used this and it has been so cumbersome and it has made doing business so difficult. There's a lot of things. Dr. Mimi Vo talked at the Project 420 event. She was talking about how, if the state is going to require doctors to send off all of these people's recommendations like that, doctors are already hiring people to take notes during their meetings to do all of this stuff. There's so much more work and so much more employees that are going to have to be involved rather than the doctor writing the recommendation and the patient themselves being the ones that are responsible for turning it into the state.
Okay, so is our girl trying to say, it's BS that it costs so much to get into the industry?
I think what she's saying, and it goes a little bit further, is it's not so much, maybe, but it just is the fact that it costs so much to get in is automatically it's going to disqualify a huge swath of people.
Isn't that the way with
a
lot of businesses?
With everything,
though?
And that's what I was getting at. Is this is a great marrying point for people to see what overregulation does in all industries. This doesn't just apply to cannabis, but because both sides of the aisle are so engaged with this particular topic, they can see how it directly affects an industry that they are passionate about. But this happens in every industry, and then what happens? Guess what? Yeah, Facebook, they want net neutrality. Facebook wants it harder for innovators that are writing apps. They're going to go in and they're going to buy a WhatsApp, or they're going. It makes more sense for them to consume technology that could possibly put them out of business and buy it up rather than. And this has gone back since the beginning of time. Bigger steel companies, better, they buy smaller steel companies.
They could.
This goes back forever, but there's one constant, and that is as the mega rich, they're always be like, yeah, sure, tax us more. Yeah, sure. They're big, Democratic donors or whatever, Silicon Valley being a huge culprit of that. And it's because it takes the level playing field and skews it in their favor. Huge. They can afford all of the regulations. They can pay the higher taxes. They'll still find a way to cheat it because their people are better than the people we have writing it, and they move quicker to find loopholes. I mean, you write a bill and to get it passed through Congress, it takes so long, and there are 2,000 pages of nonsense. We can't do single issue voting for anything, which is ridiculous. But the bigger the company gets, the Walmarts and all of these huge conglomerates, sure, regulate the hell out of the industry so that Joe Johnson can never open up his little corner store and do his thing. He can never afford to enter into the business. That's applicable to things so much more than cannabis, but it's something we should be aware of. Big cannabis is a thing. In California, their black market is bolstered. So that's what happens. The legal market becomes consumed by these huge whales, right?
But the black market thrives, baby.
Thrives because there is such because they've given out, like Oregon, for instance, they've given out so many licenses to cultivate that they have a huge surplus. Well, only so much of it can be moved in, through the legal market.
Line. Yeah, you can't cross a state line with it,
so,
guys.
We got to find the middle ground there. I think Missouri, the people that wrote, the new approach measure, I think that they were very mindful of some things that were working and were kind of egregious and whatnot. But they're still the same. There's still people that are set up to do a lot better throughout this process than others, naturally, because they wrote how it should go. If it was just straight up just the Wild West out here, the quality of our medicine and our ability to say what our medicine was being treated with goes down significantly. But the ability for people to just, participate in a free market with one another would
we're seeing
be exponential
with the advent of products like the purple. When are we going to have all of the control?
Yeah.
Like everybody can grow. You grow this there. Look, this machine will tell you everything you ever wanted to know about this, the DNA strain in this cannabis plant. And I think we need
there
all
are
types.
free market solutions, right? There are ways where if that was a true concern, where it's like, okay, man, this thing's just wide open. Everybody can make their way in this thing. Okay, well, I have to do something to safeguard myself and my potential patients, or the people that I'm growing for as a caregiver, or when it opens up to adult use. I can test that by something that somebody else created in the free market.
Where did the regulation stop? In a perfect
world,
world,
they don't. That's the thing. We talk about shadow governments kind of tongue in cheek, but it's a real thing.
Yeah,
man.
you
The
make like
bureaucracy
regulations
is so
regulations.
deep in everything, and this guy's checking on this guy's checking on this guy, but this guy's checking on this. It's this big circle jerk.
Yeah.
So
interesting, man. No, I think Missouri, knowing the people that we know and have talked to, and hearing how they, and maybe they're all giving us the BS answers, but it seems like Missouri's doing such an incredible job without all the cronyism. And I mean, you see the guys, what's a Fraker? Like you hear him talk, he's just trying to do his best with the DHS and get out there, get online, get on the DHSS's website. And they're looking for suggestions. We have the ability to help mold this. Like, that's the awesome thing about Missouri. You can get on there and say, hey, we need to think about this. And it's very cool to see the people who are going to grow. And that's what I was going to say for this lady, her TED Talk.
she was a lawyer, by the way, in
Okay.
Washington.
Okay.
And it's an 18-minute TED Talk. I encourage you guys to go check it out. It's pretty cool.
I encourage people to check that out. I also encourage people that if you think it's too pricey to get into the cannabis game, figure something out.
Find where you fit in.
Yes, because there is a spot for you somewhere. Like these giant hemp fields, they're going to make, it's going to be an unreal. Craig keeps talking about it. Like it's going to be the boon of boons, these mega hemp fields. Like
the processors, man. The processors is where it's at.
And there's not many places to do it.
No.
So if you can get a job there are so many things. It's going to open up the art world.
When it makes sense, when there's enough of a yield that hempcrete becomes a thing that makes sense to create. Because right now it's like, okay, we could make some of it, but man, that hacks into a crop that could be worth a lot more, over here doing this. But as we open it up and allow more people to grow that, man, like it becomes like this self-sustaining microeconomy that's happening where they're creating, alternatives to hardwood paper. And like I said, hempcrete and hemp has a million uses. You can make it fuel. I would steer away from making it fuel because
Purple
just like with
sticky
corn,
punch.
like you're gonna just reap the soil.
Rope, purple sticky punch.
We got a little text on the text line here. What an effing crybaby. Look at Oregon. Thanks, Slam-a-Lama. I think that's our guy, isn't it?
Who's calling crybaby?
I don't know. I think maybe. I don't know. Maybe the gal.
Well,
I
forget
don't
him.
know.
Stop texting
Forget him.
in.
Yeah, stop texting into the show. That's how you're
314.
going to be. You're going to be all negative.
8800808. Tiffany J says no requires background. Mo requires background checks and pretty sure no felons. Oh, Mo. Yeah.
Yeah.
So don't touch the product or plant. That's coming from our old buddy Roman McNew. I don't know what's he talking about. And that's why a black market still exists in legal states, coming from Kenny Boy.
No doubt about it. No doubt about it.
I'm going to have to double check the felon issue. Thanks, Tiffany. I'm reading these on the go here. Okay. So when you do your research, please have your research ready. Guys, if you're going to comment on the show, okay, Tiffany, have your research ready. Gosh darn it. We love you guys.
So we're up against it on a break. Guys, I want to remind you, like, I don't know, maybe you have a teenage driver, or, a family that you care about, or, you want to make sure that your death isn't a debit on somebody else's life. Just the very act of having to bury or cremate you is just going to set someone back.
I had a stranger walk up to me today and say, no one will miss you when you are gone, which means I was like, at first I was taken
Did you get
back.
his number? I'd like to.
First thought, I was like, that's creepy, and I don't like that. But after I thought, I was like, maybe I'll outlive everybody.
Yeah, maybe you got that going for you. If any of those things sound like they apply to your world, I would love for you to call James Carlton State Farm. He's the best insurance agent in the game. He's going to make sure you're sufficiently covered. We wish he was our dad.
I do.
314-961-4800, carltoninsurance.net. This is Hoosier Sophisticate on WGNU 920 AM. On the other side of the break, I don't know, we're going to go down the rabbit hole for a little bit.
Oh, we
See you on
are.
the other side.
We got a little a new game, the conspiracy theory game. It's a special edition.
Oh, that's the rabbit hole.
Yep.
Oh.
Rabbit hole special edition.
The Squeege coming back with the rabbit hole.
Serving the metropolitan area, WGNU St. Louis.
Yeah.
It lasts a lifetime.
Come on.
It lasts a lifetime. Yeah. And just go Google it. I wanna let those shingles down, girl, for you. I wanna let those shingles down, boy, for you. I'm gonna do some siding, get you excited. James Hardy siding. Google it.
For a lifetime. You know I make your neighbors cry. Boo, cause we tell all the leaks go by. And you know we all do the side.
Guys, Lifetime Roofing. They're the best roofers in the game, best customer service. LifetimeSTL.com. Google them.
Spiders are found on nearly every continent on the earth. Bugs and arachnids, and insects and other little critters are vital to the Earth's homeostasis, keeping our planet in balance and making all of our lives better. They are vital, beautiful little creatures. Unless you come in my house, and then I'm calling Rose Extermination. Rose Extermination!
Hey there, Krager.
Well, hey, Steve.
How you doing, buddy?
Man, I've been pretty good.
Well, that's good. Hey, you heard anything about them newfangled hemp oils they got now?
I just don't know where to find a good one.
Well, I find the best full spectrum hemp oil from MomedCanCo.com.
Where?
I get it from MomedCanCo.com.
Is it expensive?
It don't cost 2 kittens whiskers. And if you enter HOSO in the promo box, you're going to get yourself 15% off.
Buddy, it sounds like we're squatting tall cotton.
Darn right we are.
Where can I find them?
You can find them online, MomedCanCo.com, Missouri Medical Cannabis Company.
Thanks, buddy. Yeah.
Hey there, sophisticated Hoosiers. Have you been to our website? Visit HoosierSophisticate.com and listen to our uncensored podcast. Share some laughs with us. Send us fan mail so we can feel warm and special. Buy our merchandise so that we can eat. Wear your Hoosier Sophisticate t-shirt at social gatherings and let the women approach you. Wear it around the office and get that big promotion instead of Ted. That's right. Screw Ted. Ted sucks. That's HoosierSophisticate.com. A voice for all of St. Louis. We are WGNU 920 AM and 106.9 FM.
Let's face it, you're a product of a nutty society, and there are unexamined crevices and uncleaned out drain traps in all of us, and you're going to encounter that stuff. The good news is the earlier psychedelic trips tend to deal with that.
Say word, Radio Land. We're coming at you live with Steve and Craig, Hoosier Sophisticate, presented by Mycelio Media. Now, St. Louis, let's do this.
This is not tea, this is eating raw mushrooms. As soon as the mushroom enters my body, I sit and meditate.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Hoosier Sophisticate here on WGNU 920 AM. Put.com behind it. You can stream us live anywhere in the world. We're streaming live on Facebook, YouTube channel, Mycelio Media, all your major podcasting platforms. There's new merchandise on the site. Got some new shirts, got a couple new styles. All the hat inventory is back up. We've been having a good old time here. A lot of big doings going on. Seth?
Oh, hold on.
No, I was going to read it. I was going to read
from
that
the
for you.
YouTube?
Yes. So we had a comment on the YouTube page from a little gentleman. Is this Bruce Lee's son? Brandon? Bruce Lee's son,
Might as
Brandon,
well been.
said, my old freestyle buddy, Steve-O, hasn't aged a day. Great job with the show, guys. Love the Mocana, and let's go Blues.
We used to cipher. We used to get in a circle. We'd all get ham boned. And every time I was the worst, okay? Because this is a time I was still questioning my sexuality.
Sure,
okay?
naturally.
You know, it's college, baby.
I question your sexuality.
But every time I'd get in a cipher, it would automatically be like, and I'm breaking it down, and this dude's a clown, and his pants are down around his ankles. I'd be like, whoa, why did I say that? You know what I mean? Like, I'd get in the zone. The lyrics would get real gay. And then there was a guy that would come out. There was a guy who came out and did like a skit later who's got like a YouTube channel. And I'm like, man, I'm an idiot. I was just doing comedy.
That's all you were doing the whole time. Sometimes the truth is the funniest.
Just always went there. What's up, Brandon?
Seth.
All right. Well, we have a special. Normally around this time,
I wanted to
we'd be
let
taking a
Steve
look.
sit in his homoerotica for a minute. So,
My God. Normally we'd be doing the rabbit hole, but we are doing the rabbit hole. But tonight's a special edition. We're playing our new conspiracy game, so let's do that.
This is like a Bandersnatch rabbit hole.
The Bandersnooch. Snooch party.
Truman's, Soulard, Monday, 7 p.m.
Snooch party.
I'll be there.
It's going to be a trim
I'm
bonanza.
going to go.
Trim
I
bonanza.
can't say the G one, can I?
No.
What?
You can't.
Oh, no. Yeah, don't. If you have to ask, it's probably just no. All right, so we're gonna play the conspiracy game. Here's how this goes. You see, I'm gonna give you the conspiracy, and you guys
Okay.
have to guess the percentage of Americans that believe in it.
Let's bring
All
that
right.
music
Oh,
down
this
just a
sounds-
smidge.
Just a smidge.
Turn it up. Forget these guys.
I liked it where it's at, but we're good. We're good right here. All right. And of course, we all know what happens when you lose on when you lose a game on this show, Craig. What happens?
Loser gets his profile picture changed by the other
for the entire weekend.
You got it.
48 hours. All right, so you ready to go?
Yeah, I
was
guess
born
we'll play
ready.
the game.
Real simple. When JFK was killed by us, our own government. Craig, how many people believe this percentage-wise?
77%.
Shooting up there, you know.
I'm going to say 55%. Just over half of America believes that.
Well, you went over, but I'm still going to give it because you
Thank
both
you.
went over. But it's 51%. It's exactly.
whoever's
It's 100.
closer.
It's just a little over 160
No wonder
million.
they can just keep getting away with just hitting people in the teeth. 49% of you think that it was just all on the up and up.
Wake up.
It was a guy in the book depository. Give me a break.
Well, okay. So this next little.
Who'd they poll? Do we know? Old people, young people, everybody people?
I don't know who's exactly.
Okay.
I'm going to go with everybody people. Is probably who it
for the
was.
most part. Yeah, probably a lot of like college kids, a lot of baby boomers as well. Kind of a little mix there.
Watch your mouth.
Baby boomers. Okay, this percentage here, this number was a little lower than I expected, but this amount of people think global warming is a hoax.
33%.
This amount of people think global warming is a hoax. I'm going to say
This percentage of people, I should say.
I'm going to say 55%.
All right, we are tied. Craig, you got that one. It's 37%.
Oh, nice.
I was thinking it'd be closer to half.
Done.
I think it'd be.
Hey.
I thought it.
Not today, dude. It's a battle, bro.
1 to
thought
1.
it would-
You got ones, babe.
I thought it was just. I figured it'd be just under half.
Cool.
actually, for that one.
Cool. Go on.
This
Go on.
one is surprisingly low.
Stop
doing
saying
that.
Why are you doing that? You're altering my brain when you do that.
Aliens exist.
Oh,
Well, now see,
Just go.
Are you
What,
gonna go
what,
first
don't worry
every
about what
time?
I say. Don't worry about what I say. You just
Surprisingly,
what you think.
aliens exist 22%.
41.
He said low.
Let's see. Let's do the math on this one.
Well, say it out loud. We'll figure it out way before
29%.
Oh, Steve.
7. Are you kidding? Is that a joke?
It's 8, by the way.
Jesus
But
Christ. I said 22.
oh, they said 21.
No.
See, I'm not paying attention.
You were 12%
Yeah.
over. I don't care if somebody goes.
How
over.
many people? 29%?
29%.
Oh,
You guys don't even know that
just a
you
little over
have
91. Just a little over 91 million people think that there's no life out there in this.
There is a
That's
group of
insane.
aliens listening to this right now because they can listen to like several things at once, and they are laughing so hard that only 29%.
We live in a world where Chris Long has to tell everybody, "Hey, I was doing weed the whole time," and where can we talk about the Immaculate Conception period too? I hate that stupid thing. It's so stupid.
Well, it helps us.
It does, but it's so dumb.
How we gotta write, like we gotta
Yes.
trick ourselves.
Yes. Okay, go on.
New World Order.
Oh, hey, we got somebody here at the door.
We do?
Yeah, it's the Slam Llama's here.
Slam Llama's here?
Yeah, he said to let him in.
Well, there's no way that door's locked. I think.
I know you got to go around back. Slam
Yeah,
Llama.
well,
You gotta go to the parking lot, Taco Bell, go to the back door.
You gotta go all the way around now.
Is that our sponsee?
It is, I believe so.
Okay. All right.
So
NWO.
Start over.
The New World
ask the
Order?
question again.
Just New World Order was.
That's all he said.
It's a thing. Whether it's a thing.
Yeah, they believe in it.
Like the wrestling troupe?
That was a hell of a time to watch wrestling.
They're there.
Remember that?
That's 100% people.
Wolfpack.
Woo! The
Bad
power
Hogan.
struggle between Hollywood Hulk
Hollywood
Hogan
Hogan.
and Big Daddy Diesel, who he was Kevin Nash at the time.
He was. Yeah.
Man, the Hollywood Hogan made me feel weird.
How many people believe in the New World Order? This
I'm
ought
gonna
to be rich.
say 16%.
I'm going to say 34%.
28%.
I was
I'll
12
take, I'll
away.
take that one. 6. That was 6 away. 2-2.
Did you say 34?
Nodded at 2. All right. Here's one that
Stupid game.
I won't say anything.
How do you deny there being a New World Order? How do you deny it?
Can you believe only 1% more people believe in aliens?
Oh my goodness.
So, vaccines are linked to autism. What do you get?
Ooh.
7%. You think
No,
it's more?
He
no.
said that's a as if he's
No,
looking
I'm gonna
at the-
say I'm gonna
17.
say 25%.
17 is what I meant to say. He didn't let me finish.
You already said. What did you say? 7.
7. He said 7%.
I'm going with Craig here. 20%.
I said 17. You didn't let me finish. That's how we're gonna play
You
this
said
game?
7 and paused and turned and
I
looked
know.
at Craig.
I was reading
waiting
a
for-
comment online. Tiffany Jones finally has some backage to her info from the
Steve,
DHSS
Give it to
website.
him.
Nobody
Hey,
can.
no. I
don't play this game.
Screw it. Screw it. We'll cancel that one out.
No,
No,
I don't
I
want-
award
I don't wanna
nobody
win like
points.
this. I don't-
17.
I don't want to win like this. Give him the points. Give him the
thank
points.
I award no
He
one any
knows-
points.
He knows what a petulant child I am.
I don't want to win like
No
this.
one gets points. I'm the,
Okay,
I'm
okay,
the
fine.
judge.
All right,
and
we're still
jury
not at the
here.
deuces.
Stupid.
All right. The government controls minds with TV.
I mean,
Can we get the music just a tiny bit lower?
Should it be 100? Should it be 100?
Like, what are we talking about? Control, like making me do stuff I wouldn't do, or like subconsciously controlling every one of my every movement.
He's actually in the building.
How do you get in here?
Danny, can you go let Blake in?
So we got nobody in here, Blake. Sorry, where did he just sit out there?
Yeah.
Believe in the.
I'll say 16%.
I'm gonna go Tyler Bozak, 21%.
Craig, it's 15%.
Robbie Fabry.
How about this?
Give me
The
ball game.
CIA developed crack cocaine.
Oh, 73%. No, I'm gonna say who's
I'm gonna start going with your first answer.
Just saying,
I don't remember what.
saying they did. Go ahead.
Definitely 73. Definitely.
He's going 73 is
Okay.
his final, Craig. Once you say yours, he's
22%.
locked in. 22. Craig, you got this one. It was 14%.
This is the stupidest.
Listen,
game ever.
the CIA didn't
Where
create
did you
crack
get
cocaine.
these stupid numbers?
They
Dude?
didn't create crack cocaine, but they definitely put it in all of our lower income neighborhoods.
Yeah, everybody
Okay.
knows that.
This is definitely way too low.
4 to 2.
Bigfoot exists.
96%.
30%.
14%.
14
Crazy
was
low.
then.
14%.
I you know what? I'm calling Bigfoot Willie Jr. on that.
Oh, Bigfoot Willie.
He's gonna be
Jr.
upset about
Obama is the Antichrist.
Jesus. I hope 8%. Ooh.
You're
I got
closer.
the
It's
over.
13.
I got the over.
40. The thing is 40.8 million people.
$1, Bob.
40.8 million people are walking around thinking that dude's the Antichrist. All right.
How many
It's
more
the
we
world
got?
we live in. That is the world we live
The
in.
moon landing was faked.
Ooh.
We're going to do just a couple more.
How far am I ahead? 3 right now?
Yeah.
You got 5. He's got 2.
Okay. Moon landing was fake. I'm gonna say 18%.
I'm going to say 19.
Craig, 7%. It's only 7%.
I thought for sure he would say 17. Oh, I knew it right there.
7%.
Raise
I
the
thought
banners.
that would be like 30.
Raise the banners, Krager.
It's only 7.
Raise
All
them,
right.
baby.
Airplane contrails are sinister chemicals.
19%.
Who cares at this point? I hope.
Hey,
they're all
no, I'm
chemtrails.
giving you the point back.
17%.
I said
16.
19%.
I'm gonna say 18.
Why are you friggin' trying to snake bid them like you're on the Price is Right?
What? I
Hey,
just learned out of
just
$1.
Just say it's 20. Just say it's 20 so I can win.
It's 5%.
Yeah, I got dog. You see that?
Okay, that was
Blast off.
Steve. Not that it matters. 'Cause
Blast
I
off.
don't know if I have enough left for lizard people control politics.
19%.
11%.
4%.
Jeez, what are we thinking here, America?
Anything over 1 is scary. But no, 12.5 million people believe in reptilian overlords.
I've seen the reptilian overlords.
All right. Do you want to risk it all, Craig, for one last?
I don't know why I would do that, but I'll bet enough that it would put us into a tie.
Okay. If you're going to wage points.
Final Jeopardy.
Little lizard people
all right.
looking at me, little lizard people doing their dookies on the street, and everybody gonna walk, everybody gonna talk, and look at Steve, he's just gonna floss dog, everybody gonna floss dog.
The government allowed 9/11.
What is his name again?
Brandon.
Thank you so much, Brandon, for bringing that out of Steve tonight. I really appreciate the quality that you've added to my show.
The government allowed 9/11.
Oh, this ought to be interesting.
Patty whack, give it dog.
Steve, the government allowed 9/11.
Basically, how many?
66%. 66.6%.
24%.
Greg gets it. It's surprisingly low. 11%.
You people are wearing blinders.
Stupid.
34
You're wearing,
Stupidest show
you're
ever.
wearing blinders.
34.5.
I'm locked
That number's
in.
light.
I'm locked in with the real people. Craig's locked in with the lizard people.
So, Craig, I could crown you the victor,
Yeah.
or you could risk.
What's my pick?
Oh, I'll come up with something.
I mean,
All right, we doing. He's gonna risk it all for one last one.
Sure.
If he wants to.
Yes.
How many people believe that Paul McCartney died in 1966?
We gotta say it at the same time. So. Okay.
Hang on.
No,
okay.
because you're gonna.
No, we're gonna say it at the same time, so that way
All right, if we don't say it at the same time,
it's a moot.
I
point.
win.
Yes, you win. I'll agree to that.
Okay. On the
3,
count.
2,
Hang on.
1.
Hang on.
3, 2,
Hang
1,
on.
go. I'm just
Hang
gonna
on.
say 3, 2, 1, go. We do it on the go.
On the go.
Yeah.
Okay.
3, 2, I don't say go. Go is the number. 3, 2, 1. Our
And
number.
say it. Yeah. Okay. How many people believe that Paul McCartney died? All right. Okay.
3,
2, 1.
36.
24%.
What did you say?
36.
24.
5%.
Oh!
15.6.
They're wearing blinders.
15.6 million.
You people,
Wake up,
I
wake
live
up,
amongst
world.
ostriches.
That's why I like
It's like
this game.
Planet
It's
of the
worth-
Ostriches, just heads in the sand. 11% of you think that the government was complicit in 9/11.
Have you guys heard
11%. You know that like literally the Pentagon lost all of our money a day before it all happened, right? Like they just lost all of it. Every bit of money. They're like, well, I don't know where it went.
Oh, Craig,
I don't know.
I got the sheet from Seth. Seth got this from, they pulled people without the internet. People who didn't have the internet.
Oh, cave dwellers.
Yeah, that's cool.
Oh,
That's
cave
cool.
dwellers.
Cave
What's
dwellers.
wrong with you people? What's the most staggering one of those? You can go ahead and bring that music down. What's the most staggering one of those?
I didn't pay attention to any of them. But out of all those that I think are real are the 9/11 one. I think we had something to do with that. JFK is definitely BS.
I thought a lot more people would be on board with that.
Definitely a New World Order. Definitely
aliens exist.
definitely
28%.
I mean, there's a lot of questions to be asked.
I thought that
That
was
was pretty
damn near
low.
half.
We don't have many people asking questions.
Bigfoot, man.
Yeah, what was that?
14 or something? Like it was
No,
low.
14.
Or
I wonder
18.
how specific the question was. Aliens exist. Are you talking like people in flying saucers?
I think
little
you
green
said.
men
I think
that
you said
come to
aliens
Earth,
are among us. I think is
come
what.
to Earth and actually have like they're
Cunnilingus.
nearby, or did they say, do you think there's some kind of form of life out there?
I would have loved to have had that question with the interview that got pushed back to next week with the Oxford professor.
I don't know. Oh, well, we're working on it.
No, I'll tell him. He'll be on here next week. Limey.
All right. You want to go ahead and go rescue our sponsor? I have no clue where he's at.
There's our sponsor.
Bring him in. Yeah, let's bring him in.
Bring him in the building,
Yes.
ladies and
Yeah,
gentlemen.
let's go ahead. Let's do this.
Come on in here,
Welcome to the show. He can sit on my lap. He can borrow my thing.
This thing is like,
Oh, here's Cutie Patootie. He's got bags. He's got a
Gifts.
water bottle. He's got a red.
Gifts.
He's got red shoes. He's got a green shirt on. It's a beautiful shirt. Oh my God, this is a boy's.
He's got a
husky.
can of Copenhagen.
Boy's husky. He knows my size. I got a. This is the JV. Oh, he's got some peanut butter.
guys.
Oh God.
God. Listen,
We have
listen,
awesome
guys.
sponsors. We have awesome sponsors. The title sponsor is Missouri Medical Cannabis Company.
Patients first. I like this.
I love that. And Blake, you got yourself a mic back there. We want to talk about, we talk about how happy our customers are to use your product, but we got kind of some big doings here. It's May 24th, which means in a matter of days, people are going to start being able to be written recommendations, if I'm not wrong. Let's make sure we got that mic on back there. If not, come up here and share a mic with
You
Steve.
can sit up here. Here, you can have mine.
Total malfunction. Yeah, Seth, give him yours. No one likes you. I'm sorry. I'd say it out loud.
Jeez, that was strong. Really strong.
There he is. There's our guy.
Two guys, one mic. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So Blake, I believe it's June 4th, right? Correct me anywhere I go wrong here, but June 4th, I believe patients. It's been a whole ordeal. As soon as we passed it, there was already people in the industry who were saying, "Come get your recommendations now."
Yeah.
Probably not the best idea.
No, I caught a lot of flack for telling people to stop that.
And I appreciate that you've been there since the beginning, buddy. Were you the first person to sign or one of the first three?
Yeah, me, Bonnie Bomey, and John Payne all signed the Amendment 2 at the same time. The very first day they were hot off the press.
How about that, man?
So, and I was involved. I mean, from 2016 with the process of the language and the bill and how it was all put together. And I couldn't believe that people were saying, "Hey, come on in February and get your certification," when they're only good for 30 days. So it's June 4th technically is the first day you could get a don't touch those. Is technically the first day you can get a recommendation, but the problem is you'd have to apply 30 days later, and that puts you at July 4th, and nobody's going to be home. So the best day to apply would be then July 5th. So
June 5th.
Well,
I see what you're saying. I got you.
They can only be 30 days. So rewriting that 30 days, and June 5th is when we're going to start writing certifications right in our office.
I can't shake a dead cat and not hit someone who says, "Hey, wasn't it that Blake Bell fellow who got you your start and everything?" And I have to remind him, no,
it was
okay, I had
Craig
my
Kohler.
own deal.
No, it was Craig
own
Kohler.
deal.
He was this
Some
guy.
guy goes, "You want to talk to this guy Blake? He smokes weed, man. I think you guys get along pretty good." And I was like, "Yeah, I'll take anybody on the radio." At
Allegedly.
this point, we had a banana eating contest. We're about to do that again real quick, except we don't have any bananas. We don't have any bananas. Hey,
this is what I hitched my wagon to.
Listen, what'd you think about old Chris Long? You're a football player, an ex-football player. What'd you think about Chris Long coming out? Tell us a little bit about that.
I love seeing it. They all do it. Even in when I went to college, I played Division II football at Quincy University.
Here we go.
I didn't smoke.
That was pretty
back then.
good. I could throw a football over the mountains.
Just like Uncle Rico. But all the guys in the football room were using it. I didn't personally do it. I hardly took aspirin when I played. I was very anti-drug.
Totally.
Grew up in a household with a father who was a doctor, so I didn't indulge in those types of things. My health things have changed.
How about that?
Now I'm out here advocating that football players should be using it because it does it helps with the problems that they're running into with chronic traumatic encephalopathy. They're finding that marijuana stops that from happening or even helps reverse it. So football players should be using just to protect their brains. And it's great that Chris Long is coming out. Sucks that he waited until he was out of the league, but I understand his reasons.
There's lots of money attached to him not
Right.
saying anything while he's playing.
He's joining the good ranks of, I think, Eugene Monroe. There's some other people.
Martellus Bennett, Ricky Williams walked away as one of the premier players in the game because he was like, "I'm not going.
I want to smoke weed.
I'm not going to stop.
I don't care about football. I want to go smoke weed."
See these dreads? I can't have these dreads and not smoke weed.
Leon Lett got caught with like 50 pounds.
That's a little different deal. It was actually 400 pounds.
Leon Lett, good for you, baby.
Yeah.
I'm a Leon Lett guy.
Good fight, Leon. That a boy.
An amount of weed I'd have to move in sections if it was in my house.
He's like, the van's made of weed, bro. Like, oh, cool. All right, thanks, Leon. See you later, buddy. Hey, tell us a little bit about what you got going on at our beautiful sponsors, Missouri Medical Cannabis Company, momedcanco.com. Enter HOSO at checkout. You're going to save yourself 15% off. What do you got going?
Product wise?
Yeah, peanut butter. Tell me about the peanut butter.
You want me to go get the peanut butter real quick?
You
it's,
have
it's,
it?
it's 30 seconds
wow.
away. I put it back in there. It was in my car, so it was a little
No,
warm.
no. Well, you should have left it.
We can do it during
We can take
commercial
a break.
break.
We'll come
real
back.
quick.
We'll come back.
We'll do that in a minute. Let's just
Blake,
chat
why
about
don't you
the
take Blake? Why don't you take us to break?
Hang on a minute. Hang on a minute.
Pump the break.
Freaking brakes around here.
to control everything.
Listen, I'm the cosmic bus driver. Strap in. Here we go.
We're up
okay?
against
Daddy's driving the bus. Just relax for a minute. Okay, look, here's the deal, Blake. You started out not that long ago, right out the gate. There was a lot of people worried about the quality of the products that were out there. Tested a bunch of different products. They didn't even test for any CBD whatsoever. We hooked up with you because we believe in your product. At first, it was just some oils, things like that. Maybe something for the pets. Buddy, in the last couple of months, we got massage oil now.
Yeah.
We got peanut butter now.
Yeah.
Talk to me about CBD flower. Are you talking about some CBD flower nowadays?
Yeah. So what we did was hemp is becoming very popular. Everybody wants to smoke hemp flower. Problem is even if it is legal hemp flower, 0.3% THC or less, if you're a bigger guy like me, it will accumulate in your fat cells, which means you will fail a drug test.
Yeah.
So how can you get the CBD? How can you get that experience of smoking a blunt of whatever without the THC? So we've taken some natural herbs and mixed them up into a nice herbal blend. It smokes really smooth and easy, and it's covered in CBD. So it's nice and it's as simple as that.
It's nice and legal.
It's as simple as that. So if you're smoking on the street, if you're smoking a hemp flower that you brought from the local store, it's going to smell like pot.
And it's going to accumulate.
And it'll
THC.
accumulate. So you could get in trouble with that. If you're driving down the street and you get pulled over and they pull that out of your ashtray, if they sniff it, this smells like pot. You're going to be in some trouble. With our product, it doesn't smell like anything. It's natural. It's got all the CBD. Each hemp roll has 100 milligrams of CBD on it.
Hemp roll. How about that? Okay, now you may take us to break.
Yeah.
And don't feel nervous because there's no way you can do any worse than Roman.
Yeah, no, we got another segment coming up. I am not letting him get away with that. No, I'm
Hey,
not. All right.
Greg, are we gonna do the is Seth teaching evolution?
We are on the other side of the break. Seth's finally going to add something to the show.
He's going to contribute to the show.
Yes.
Yeah.
Jesus,
So
finally.
finally.
All right, take us to break. Let's see what you're made out of.
I don't know how to do that.
Exactly.
See, even Roman.
So
couldn't
welcome
admit
to the Hoosier Sophisticate on 920 WGNU. We will be right back after the short break from our amazing sponsors.
Yeah, you nailed.
Spiders are found on nearly every continent on the earth. Bugs and arachnids, and insects and other little critters are vital to the Earth's homeostasis, keeping our planet in balance and making all of our lives better. They are vital, beautiful little creatures. Unless you come in my house, and then I'm calling Rose Extermination. Rose Extermination!
Hey girl, where you wanna go?
I don't care, I just love you.
Are you hungry? Do you wanna get something to eat?
I don't care, I'm kinda hungry.
Well, what sounds good?
Anything sounds good, you pick.
How about some Mexican?
No, I had that for lunch yesterday.
How about we get some Italian food?
Ew.
Okay, now you're not saying anything. You're just
I
giving
just
me a
want
look.
something delicious.
What does that even mean?
I want to sit outside.
Applebee's?
Applebee's
No,
is
Applebee's.
gross. I'm not
Applebee's is
eating
good. I don't know
Applebee's.
why you're
Applebee's
always
fries
hating on
are
Applebee's.
disgusting.
Applebee's is one of
They're
my favorite car
gross.
places to go ever.
I'm not eating Applebee's.
I wanna go to Truman. Let's go to Truman's Soulard. Truman. I wanna go to Truman. Soulard. Take me to Truman. We agree on Truman. I love Truman. Soulard. I love Truman. Soulard. Truman. Truman.
Truman's and Soulard, a place we can all agree upon.
Lifetime. Yeah. It lasts a lifetime. Come on. It lasts a lifetime. Yeah.
And just go Google it. I wanna let those shingles down, girl, for you. I wanna let those shingles down, boy, for you. I'm gonna do some siding, get you excited. James Hardy siding. Google it.
That whole lifetime. You know I make your neighbors cry. Boo, hoo. Cause we till all the leaks go by. And you know we all do the side.
James Hardy, boy, yeah.
Guys, Lifetime Roofing. They're the best roofers in the game, best customer service. LifetimeSTL.com. Google them.
Hey there, Krager. Well, hey, Steve.
How you doing, buddy?
Man, I've been pretty good.
Well, that's good. Hey, you heard anything about them newfangled hemp oils they got now?
I just don't know where to find a good one.
Well, I find the best full spectrum hemp oil from MomedCanco.com.
Where?
I get it from MomedCanco.com.
Is it expensive?
It don't cost 2 kittens whiskers. And if you enter HOSO in the promo box, you're going to get yourself 15% off.
Buddy, it sounds like we're squatting tall cotton.
Darn right we are.
Where can I find them?
You can find them online, MomedCanco.com, Missouri Medical Cannabis Company.
Thanks, buddy. Yeah. You can get an insurance quote anywhere. What people are really looking for is someone to help manage the risk of everyday life. And that's exactly what James Carlton State Farm does. He's also dangerously handsome.
He has the dreamiest eyes.
James Carlton has the best customer service in the game. You'll never get a voicemail, and you'll always get a great back rub.
He has the softest hands.
A strong sense of community is important to who he is as an agent. From local school sponsorships to sandbagging during floods, it's paramount to be a part of the community.
We love the cut of his jib.
Guys, call 314-961-4800. Find him online at carltoninsurance.net.
We wish he was our dad.
Dear Vet Ticks, it was nice to spend the night with my daughter and other veterans. It's so humbling to attend an event when you feel appreciated.
I had a wonderful time with my family. Thank you for the memories, Vet Ticks.
Dear Vet Ticks, thank you for a great experience and for your support of the military and veterans.
Thank you so much, Vet Ticks. Our family has gone through a lot the last few years, and this gave us a nice break.
Every empty seat at a concert, game, or special event is a missed opportunity to say thank you to a veteran or a service member. By giving your extra tickets to Vet Ticks, you'll help America's heroes reduce stress, strengthen family bonds, and create a truly happy memory that will last a lifetime. So when you really want to say thank you for your service, give the experience, give the memory. Vet Ticks. Give something to those who gave. For more information on how you can make a difference, go to vettix.org.
Push away the paperwork and catch up on your sports every day at noon with the Brian Stoll Show.
The commissioner of the XFL, Oliver Luck, with us here.
I think we can do better than that in St. Louis, quite honestly, given, the passion that exists there and, the demand. that I think will exist there. And the fact that I feel really strongly and very confident that we can put a really good product in the field that folks will say, wow, this is fun.
That's the Brian Stoll Show, weekdays at noon on WGNU 920 AM.
WGNU, the talk of St. Louis. Streaming live at WGNU920am.com.
I think really the worth in these psychedelics is simply that they allow you to triangulate upon reality. I mean, in other words, if all you've got is awake and asleep, you can't go far with that. But if you've got awake, asleep, and DMT as points, you can build a much more dimensionally rich model of consciousness.
Welcome back, St. Louis. Let's get your mind right with Craig Kohler and Stephen Elgin. This is Hoosier Sophisticate on WGNU.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Hoosier Sophisticate here on WGNU 920 AM. This second hour is brought to you by Lifetime Roofing.
Roof. Welcome back.
It's been raining a bunch. And if you're seeing little spots in your ceiling, there's a good chance that your roof's a lot of windstorms, some tornado damage in other places. Hey, guys,
Who are you going to call?
Just go Google them. All right?
Lifetime Roofing.
I'm not playing your
Who are you
stupid
going to
games.
call?
You know, what a lot of our fans don't know is that we have our producer is a brilliant man. And he has one of the most,
I am.
He has one of the strangest little quirks about him. One of the things that really makes his heart skip a beat is evolutionary biology. So we want to treat you guys to Seth's Evolutionary Biology Minute.
Hey everybody, it's producer Seth Gabriel here, and I am probably most likely the best self-taught evolutionary biologist in the St. Louis area. So I'm going to give you a little lesson about where we all came from every week and our journey of becoming humans, from a small little ape-like dude smacking rocks together all the way to humans walking around drinking Starbucks and using iPhones to stream hot porn while they're at work. Okay, so we're going to get started here by going back in time, obviously, but we're not going to go back millions of years just yet. We're going to go back to Germany, August 1856, where some laborers were in this cave digging up limestone. They made like a few pence a day, which I'm sure wasn't much. Probably can't buy a whole lot with a few pence. I don't even know what a pence is. Anyway, one of the workers finds what looks like the top portion of a skull. And real quick, just so you know, the thing about limestone is limestone will preserve things for like millions and millions of years, basically forever. As long as there's limestone, it'll preserve things forever. So this worker finds the top half of a skull, and he thinks he may have found a murder victim. So he goes to the leader worker guy. He's also poor, but not as poor, and he's like in charge of the other workers, but he also sucks. So anyways, he goes to him and he's like, hey, check it out, someone snuffed this cat. And the leader dude was like, nah, you're dumb, just destroy it or whatever. Like, don't just leave it alone. He says, just go ahead and have it crushed. And suddenly he got this weird gut feeling, and he was like, hey, let me get that half skull. I know a dude that may want to have a look at that, at this thing. So he has a local school teacher come and look at it. This teacher guy shows up and right away was like, this is very similar to a human skull, but it's not quite a human skull, so it's kind of weird. And he asked if they found any more, and the worker's like, yeah, dude, we find all the time out here. It's pretty rad. Here's a leg bone or some shit. Teacher guy's like, y'all just walk around finding these crazy looking bones and ain't saying shit. Like, what the fuck, homie? So teacher guy takes all the bones, tells them to keep digging, the limestone, just keep looking for bones. So they're dumb as shit and have nothing better to do, and they only make a few pence or whatever. So they just keep digging and collecting bones. And the teacher guy, he goes to the scientist he knows, and he's like, hey, these human bones aren't quite human enough. Like, what's going on here? What are your thoughts on this? And the scientists are like rubbing their chins and smoking pipes and looking at each other, nodding and being all smart and shit. So they're just going to study the bones for a while. We'll leave them alone. And we're going to go ahead and fast forward to 1859 when Chuck Darwin released his book, The Origin of Species. Very controversial book. Very. Darwin actually came from a super religious family and was supposed to be a doctor or a surgeon, but he was like just unsatisfied, decided to learn taxidermy instead, of all things. So a freed black slave by the name of John Edmonstone would like give Chuck these taxidermy lessons. Then he started looking at the animals real close like, and he's thinking, hey, all living things evolved from an earlier, simpler form from the process of evolution. And it turns out he was right. And then people started thinking, we're living things. Did we evolve? And if so, from what? Which was like a crazy thing to even ask at that. I mean, it's the 1850s. You're not supposed to ask questions like that. The Bible was basically laid everything out for you, and you were supposed to be like, okay, cool. But even Chuck, he didn't even want to go there. Like, he's like, oh, hell no. He thought it would be way too controversial. I could be wrong, but I think his wife had left him at this time because of the Origin of Species book. I know I can't quite remember, but anyway, somebody can look that up. He was like, I'll write about fish growing legs and turning into lizards and shit, but I'm not trying to be burned at the stake, homie. So let's go back to our scientists that have been studying human-like bones, and it turns out they belong to a dude that died 40,000 years ago named Homo neanderthalensis. Homo meaning man, like Steve. Steve is a homo, and that is a scientific fact. And Neanderthalensis comes from the location, the Neander Valley, where it was found. So scientists are now in shock that they just discovered something that will pretty much blow everyone's minds and possibly get them killed, or at the very least, people will like throw rocks at them or whatever. So very controversial, and we'll pick it up here next week. This has been Human Evolution with producer Seth. Thanks.
That was great.
I that's how I want to learn all of my science.
That's as great as the shirts Greg and I are wearing.
I happen to like the way I happen to like the way I fill my shirt out.
I'm just going.
He's taking them all down. Steve's like, I have crossed the point of no return, guys. I don't know. You got bugs?
That was pretty good.
You got bugs?
Pretty good.
Speaking of evolutionary biology, what's the I mean, aren't insects like they're probably smarter than us?
No,
they live the perfect existence. They're not bogged down by feelings and thoughts. They have a purpose, and that is to just tear everything down.
Not all animals, though. Kind of.
Yeah, I think that humans are the ones that step, but insects especially. The only good bug is a dead bug in the eyes of a human. Okay.
Okay, Starship Troopers.
Yeah, ever since they bombed Buenos Aires.
Did you become a citizen?
Maybe. You got bugs?
I do.
I mean, I can't even go outside without these gnats just killing my face. What's going on?
Rose extermination. Yeah, I got bugs. I've had them. I got rid of them. I called Rose extermination. They spray. They build a barrier around your house, and the bugs can't get in, can't get through the barrier.
Trump's doing everything he can to not get a boner right now hearing about this barrier around your house.
Yeah, it's amazing. They'll come out and they'll help you. I know a gal who's got carpenter ants, so they're going to come out and help her out. Bring home some bait. Sometimes you got to bait them.
Oh, so we're just going to exterminate the carpenter? I have a feeling a whole religion's going to be based around this.
Yeah, you know. Well, what's funny is one time I was spraying a nursing home, and it was a lot of old Russian people that had survived the Holocaust. I mean, this is 5-10 years ago.
Like Russian Jews?
Yes.
Okay.
And guess what kind of bug was infesting their building and all of their food and trying to wipe them off the face of the earth?
Do tell.
German cockroaches.
Is that a thing? There's a German cockroach?
Yeah.
Is it German roaches?
The German cockroach came in and said, "Secret." I don't know what they said.
Jesus. Okay.
They can't talk.
This took a turn.
Yeah.
Yes, they can. If you go into the right dimensions, yes, they absolutely can talk.
Those roaches like march together in the line.
Guys, what is it? 314
They gave me
845 6101. Just give them a shot.
845-6101.
They get
845-6101.
Ants are just annoying. They
You know what
annoy
ants
me.
love? Peanut butter.
I love peanut butter.
Look at this. That's gosh.
I used to do drywall. I'll blather
He looks like he's being a baby.
That's good. Is that good, boy?
That was kind of hot.
This is peanut butter soup. Our sponsor
nice.
left it. He left it in his car at about 85. Probably got up to about 110 in the car today with the old sunroof.
And now Steve's gonna
That is some
same
delicious peanut
spoon.
butter. I must say that is
Thingy.
some delicious peanut butter. Oh, dude, same spoon. Yeah.
What are you?
Every
What
I
are you
insist on
using there?
the same spoon.
That looks like that little useless thing you get with those Lunchables, the pizza Lunchables.
This whole thing's going off the rails.
Oh God!
Oh, you're dripping on our computer for criminies.
Hey, speaking of pest, I'm going to have a lesson about fossilized pubic lice.
Speaking of pests, what an underrated movie of the 90s. Underrated 90s
Oh
comedy.
God, that was bad.
I like to party with my peeps, cruise the streets, hooking 3-card money. I don't know.
That was so.
John Leguizamo.
I-
I loved it. It was based on the Most Dangerous Game, one of my favorite short stories. It's
It was,
terrific.
it was based off a short story. It's really funny you mentioned that old 90s comedy. I read a book. They played that movie off that book. A lot of people haven't read that book. I think it's funny to make fun of people who read. I've seen every band before they were popular. There was this
That's
little
not
band
me.
that
I
was
am
called
not
9
that
Inch
guy.
Nails.
I am not that guy.
They were only 4-inch nails at the time. And so I went and saw them. They were in my buddy's basement. They hired this other band, which ended up being the Black Crows. They didn't show up.
Black Crowes opening for 9 Inch
Black
Nails. That I'd pay to see.
they didn't show up. So this little scrappy guy, Trent, shows up. He's got disheveled hair. I gave him some trouble. I said, hey, I gave him some trouble. Turns out 9 Inch Nails. Saw him back in 89.
You know, I was just shouting out the 90s comedy that you thought was so underrated, which I agree with you. I've seen that movie
I think it's
more than most.
overrated just because
It's not-
somebody spent money to produce it.
Has somebody rated it at all?
Yeah, they charged for people to see that at theaters. I'd be irate.
I had the
saw it on
VHS and I wore it out.
It was the bad guy from Ferris Bueller, wasn't it? And Howard the
Was.
Duck.
And Howard the Duck, yeah.
Yeah, that's so
Yeah,
that
the
was that's
principal
a,
from Ferris Bueller.
That's
Yeah.
a great bad guy. Great bad guy. The
Ari
premise is-
Spears?
What?
Yeah, he
oh,
played
yeah,
his best friend in it,
okay.
yeah.
I thought you said Ari Shafir in my brain.
No,
heard
no,
that.
no, no,
Yeah,
yeah.
I was like, really?
That would-
I was like,
He'd probably
geez.
been like, 11.
Who was his other little buddy? He had two buddies.
Having a hard time.
Ari
recalling.
Spears. I can't even picture him. His gal was pretty cute though. I remember like thinking that. Remember that?
I got to go back and watch it.
My-
I will go back.
Well,
and
guess
watch
what?
it.
Next week is, Craig.
What's next week?
It's 90s nostalgia week here at Hoosier Sophisticate.
Let's do it.
And
Let's do a
all
little
week we
homework.
are going to pump people up. We're gonna pump you up with 90s nostalgia stuff. I just thought of that right
Speaking of clapping,
We like movies, so do we. You like internet, so do you. It's the streaming picks of the week.
It's the streaming picks of the week.
And Netflix too.
It's the streaming picks of the week.
pay for your own HBO subscription. Should we talk about what we watched this week?
We should talk about that peanut butter because that's actually
It's delicious peanut
delightful
butter,
peanut
man.
butter.
That
I
is,
haven't
I mean,
eaten
if you
dinner,
guys have
and I am
not
going to
gone
mow some peanut butter.
momedcanco.com, get yourself some CBD peanut butter. It's delicious. What have you been watching this week, Steve?
Well, I'll tell you what, I finished up Dead to Me, and it's a phenomenal show. I put it on the webpage. I put it on the website. I put it on the Facebook fan page, Sophisticated Hoosiers, Hoosier Sophisticate. I put it on there and told people, I said, I've watched the first 2 episodes. It's phenomenal. The producers are Adam McKay, Will Ferrell. It's dark humor. A couple of just great gals in the in the show as the main characters. What's the guy's name? You know his name. The main character,
James Marsden?
James Marsden is phenomenal in it. Christina Applegate. It's on Netflix. It is great. Watch it. You can binge the whole season. I think it's 8 to 10 episodes. It's got twists and turns, man. It's pretty neat. Check out Dead to Me. I also watched Wine Country. Stay as far away from Wine Country as you can, unless you're going through menopause. As I'm saying this,
That
that's the
doesn't even
only
sound
way.
like. I think I'll watch Wine Country.
Yeah, well, it's a bunch
What
of
was
old,
the caption? Did you read it before you watched it?
I watched the preview, and it's a bunch of the SNL gals. I swear
Oh,
to the
this
Lord.
is supposed to be funny.
I swear to the Lord.
You know how hard that is.
They do
See that
15
Ghostbuster
minutes.
remake? Holy, I haven't. I don't have
not.
to.
15 to 30 minutes of the movie is them listening to songs of the 80s when they were young, and they're dancing and singing, and
Stay
they
tuned
keep
for our nostalgia
showing
show
it,
next week.
keep showing it, keep showing it, keep showing it. That's what they do, and they keep on singing all these songs from the 70s and the 80s when they all used to work at a pizza place, and they just make jokes go on too long, and I don't like that stuff.
Yeah, I
when
hate
they
when things go on too long. It's terrible.
I watched perhaps the biggest television event of my lifetime on Sunday, and surprisingly came out of it feeling good, man.
You're an idiot.
Feeling good.
They tricked you.
They
fed you
didn't-
garbage.
They didn't trick me.
And then the last
They didn't
episode,
trick me.
What that post?
So, listen to me.
Game of Thrones.
Sunday?
We got Thrones.
Sunday.
Here you go. I'm gonna look something up.
First off, I'll give you. We're going to wrap up with Thrones talk. I'll give you my pick that I thought was just a bizarre. I think there's this weird thing going on. Like this obsession with Ted Bundy is perplexing to me. I don't understand what's going on since they released this documentary, and all the women were like, "Oh, he was so handsome," and like this whole weird narrative has taken place with Ted Bundy. Okay, and Netflix made an original movie with Zac Efron playing Ted Bundy.
Zach and Ted, not even close. Look at his mug. He was ugly.
He played it.
Yeah, I don't get it.
I agree. Like they definitely played on the this guy is was super, he was a ladies' man, super attractive, handsome guy. But what was weird about this movie for me was like it didn't focus on the atrocities that Ted Bundy committed, even in the slightest. Like all it did was cover like him constantly in legal trouble and getting himself out. He was a law student. And so like it comes down to a point where he starts, representing himself. I thought the whole vantage point was a bizarre, weird thing where they were like making people were feeding this whole frenzy of Ted Bundy being this, charismatic Casanova of sorts. And like, that's all this movie covered was like, hey, look at this handsome Zac Efron character trying to convince everybody that he didn't kill anybody. It was weird for me. It was super weird.
Were there any gruesome scenes?
None. It just covered like all of these. It was very strange how they told this
story.
It's
like the exorcism of Emily Rose.
It really humanized Ted Bundy. Like if that's what they're trying to do, then okay. Zac Efron was convincing in it, but it was just a really weird vantage point. I don't really understand why we're telling that story the way that we're telling it. Back to Game of Thrones. I was a vocal critic from the beginning of episode 3, which where everyone was like, oh, like I was like, I didn't even want to admit it, how much it just kicked me right in the gonads, but I did, by the next morning, Steve, I called you right away and I was like, buddy, I've got problems. I've got problems with the way they're going with all of this. So it didn't get much better for me after that. I thought that the storytelling, I think that this was, a pretty well agreed upon by at least half of the fan base, if not more, that they just got really lazy with the story. And had they told the exact same story over the course of 10 episodes, it probably would have been okay. But mix the lazy writing with time jump, and it's like, why are we doing this to something that has been so beautiful?
Did you sign the petition?
Long? I didn't sign the petition. but I mean,
there's still time.
Can those guys sleep at night? I mean, I'm sure they do. Like, it's really hard to hear all of the people's complaints over their Lear jets warming up, But I mean, you're talking about, we had a decade invested in one of the most beautiful fantasy fictions ever told. And so I was very dejected I was fine with seasons 1 or with episodes 1 and 2. I'm like, oh, they're giving us the warm and fuzzies because it's about to get real. And it never really got real. And so I was on board saying, this is not the way I would have liked to seen it go. But by the time 8 p.m. last Sunday rolled around, I had already made, I'm a big league closer, Steve. I wake up the next day, I'm not wearing it. By 8 p.m. last Sunday, I said, listen, they got an hour and a half. I don't, this is all I'm ever going to get from this show ever again. There's things they got to wrap up.
Unless you sign the petition, you idiot.
Is that how it goes? Yeah. They're all just waiting on what is the deal with change.org?
Okay, Jerry Seinfeld.
That's not how a movie is made. You don't just demand something.
Change.org.
Like, can we
just punt?
Make it good.
Can we just punt change.org into the sun? It's the most ridiculous, stupid website that's ever been created.
Yeah, I hate when people are trying to initiate social change.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You
That's
guys are picking.
stupid.
Yeah, it's so compelling to see a bunch of internet keyboard warriors come and make their.
Craig,
the government's like, here, we're going to give you this page so that you feel like it's a suggestion box. Like you just write down your grievances and just drop it in the suggestion box. We're going to get to one every month. We're going to make some serious change. Punt that stupid website into the sun.
What happened to the White House? Didn't they used to do that? They if so many people.
Yes.
And then
we're gonna take it up, and then,
and they took it away.
Yeah,
we're drawing the line at Death Stars now.
Montel Jordan.
That's where we're drawing the line.
Montel Williams.
This is how we do it.
This is how we do it. Sha-na-na-na. Okay, this is why I hate Game of Thrones. They got. I'll have to tell them on the Facebook Live. I hated Facebook Live.
Security breach detected.
I'll read them off real quick.
Is under attack. Extracting dark matter. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
They forgot they spent 2 seasons building the face-shifting assassin. They forgot that that the Unsullied were leaving anyway, so John didn't have to stay in the thing. The swirly things, the symbols. They forgot so much.
I don't know. They forgot. They just skipped over it. It's all right. They tied it up. Guys, thank you so much for joining us again for another night of fun. We're thinking about maybe jumping some jumping days here. I don't know. We're going to put a poll out there. See what's cracking. Monday night, we're going down to our newest sponsor, Truman and Soulard. We're going to watch the St. Louis Blues bring home just a convincing win against the Boston Bruins. Okay? Boston Bruins. Shout out to Pixie. Come on down Truman's Place. We'll be down there. Game starts at 7 o'clock? Coverage starts. We're going to be out there. We're going to be having a good time. Support our newest sponsors. We want to thank all of our sponsors. Our guy Blake Bell's here in studio, Missouri Medical Cannabis Company. He's got all of the best products, all the best CBD products you can find. Go to momedcanco.com. Enter HOSO at checkout. Get 15% off. James Carlton State Farm is going to make sure you're insured better than anybody else on the planet, and he's going to make you love it the whole time. You can't wait to write the guy a check. Lifetime Roofing and Renovation. It's been raining a lot, been a lot of storms. Have them come check out your roof. Make sure that your family is underneath sufficient shelter. Rose Extermination. Don't kill them bugs that are trying to get in your house. 314-845-6101. Check out Rose Extermination. We'll see you guys Monday night. This is Hoosier Sophisticate on WGNU. We love you, St. Louis. Be well.
Which occurs at around 6 weeks of pregnancy. The ruling by U.S. District Judge Carlton Reeves stops the order from taking effect July 1st. The judge says lawmakers passing another ban after he struck down the earlier one specs of defiance to his court. 13 people were injured.